Hello guys, here with a new video for the channel. I hope you like it and that it's to your liking. Now, without further ado, get comfortable and let's start.
After a while, Kakarot finished his transformation, he had an imposing look that would make any warrior tremble. What the hell? What is this transformation? Behold the power of the amazing Super Saiyan Ultra Instinct Phase 3! Kakarot, by raising his power a little more, would make the entire universe tremble and millions of planets and galaxies would be destroyed by such power. Meanwhile, on the floating castle, damn it! Is there perhaps another subject to the level of a Supreme Archangel? Who the hell is this power? Susano, come immediately! Tell me, sir. How can I help you? Investigate those whose great power it is. Susano with the technique could observe who emanated such great power. The subject that emanates this great power is Kakarot from the old Universe 14. What did you say? That's impossible! 2 golden Azorus exist. On the other hand, on a very distant planet was Yamoshi. It's impossible for me, a legendary Saiyan, to lose against that simple Saiyan. My power is unlimited. No one can make me stand up to me. However, I don't feel that way. I feel that that damned thing is at my level without having all his power, so I better raise my power. Yamoshi would go into his combat form, turning all of his hair white. Meanwhile, with Archon and Kakarot, they would be very hurt. However, Kakarot would have the advantage a bit, giving him a fury of blows. Dragon God Destroyer attack! Die! This great attack would cause Archon to perish immediately. Meanwhile, inside, except Goku, breathe. Kronos would explain everything to Frieza and Cell. You were chosen to kill the Golden Azoru, or better known as Son Goku. Where both villains would get angry. We will do anything to kill that monkey. Returning to the planet of Nin. What happened, Kakaroto? Kakaroto would begin to tell everything that had happened. I faced a warrior named Archon that the Supreme Archangels had sent to exterminate you. You also need rigorous training to raise all your power. If you're really my counterpart, your power will be as great as mine, and I'm sure you'll achieve the level in my transformation. You're right. I think it's time to go back to training to once again be known as Kakaroto, the Saiyan kills gods. Goku and Kinoto, you two are the most powerful, and can't you perceive the key of the Archangels? Both Saiyans would shake their heads. However, after a while, Goku and Kakaroto from Universe 14 would enter the time room, where they would have a difficult training. Goku would try to get his counterpart to reach the same level as him. After a few days, Kakaroto would master the full power Ultra Instinct transformation. Everyone would bow their head when observing that Kinoto was very upset. Meanwhile, in the floating castle, Kronos was a little worried since he felt the power of 2 Kakarots, and from one moment to another they disappeared. Kronos would be a little bewildered as he didn't know what was going on. If those 2 guys aren't there, the rest should be an easy target. Susano, come immediately. Susano would arrive at Kronos bowing. Those 2 guys, how's the training going? Do you think they're ready? Susano would shake his head. No, my lord. It is still too early for them to face that Saiyan. Meanwhile, in the training camp, Frieza and Cell would have increased their power greatly. Frieza would have achieved a new transformation, making their power overwhelming. However, Cell would not be far behind. he would have reached the golden state, both warriors, they would think they would have enough power to take down Son Goku. However, a voice would respond through space, "With that power, you are no match for Son Goku or his weakest companions. The power of the Golden Ozoru is unreal. You must increase your powers much more or increase your reflexes." Where a ray would go through Frieza, causing him to fall to the ground very injured. After that event, every day they went through something similar. For a few weeks, the body of both were so resistant to the initial rays, did nothing to him, and his powers were abysmal. Surprising that the king of everything, however, they would still be below the power of Son Goku's friends. "I have no idea. The powers increased much faster. We are going to make them to the planet where the demonic water exists." So Frieza and Cell went to that planet to drink the water of the demons. However, before entering that water, "You must have enough power and a strong mind. Otherwise, this water will consume you completely and you won't be able to do anything." Frieza and Cell entered, and at that moment, they made contact with the demonic water. They began to scream in pain. After a few seconds, they both came out looking the same, but something to notice was their incredible increase in power. "Their power is now immense and is equivalent to a middle-class archangel, but they need to get used to said power." Everyone would return to the training camp to master all the power obtained. Meanwhile, returning to the Neen planet, they were all on the defensive of some new warrior because that entire multiverse would have been shaken by a surprising power. On the other hand, inside the time room, Goku and Kakarot would continue training, and Kakarot would already dominate his Ozoru form. "Now in your Ozoru form, transform into Super Saiyan!" But it was much more difficult for Kakaroto. That's right, he couldn't access the Super Saiyan, but he wouldn't give up, and from one moment to another, the Ozoru's fur would turn gray. Goku would be a little confused when observing Kakaroto's color. "What does this mean? I didn't go through that transformation. What's that transformation?" Kakaroto would begin to overflow great power, that is. Kakaroto would have achieved the Super Saiyan Phase 4 Ultra Instinct. The power that is emanated was immense. However, it did not exceed the power of Son Goku. After a few days training, these would come out of the room, and at the time of the leaving, Kronos and Yamoshi would feel the abysmal power of these two. "What the hell? Who are these powers? Those powers seem to have no limits." Kronos would communicate telepathically with Yamoshi. "Yamoshi, come immediately. We need to talk urgently." Yamoshi would go to Kronos' castle. "Kronos, perhaps you're training two mortals?" "These mortals were potential enemies of the Golden Ozoru." Yamoshi was understanding them. "But Yamoshi does not deviate from the subject. Have you felt all that bestial power?" "That's right, Kronos. They really are immense powers, but if you say you have two warriors to finish off the cursed Kakaroto, I want to see them." Yamoshi would be heading to the training ground. "If you were a potential opponent of the Golden Ozoru, face me and make me use a large part of my power." However, the two villains being underestimated in this way, both would launch the attack. However, Yamoshi was evading each of the attacks with ease. However, from one moment to the next, both increased their speed and power, surprising Yamoshi would take a few good hits and fall to the ground. Furious, Yamoshi would get to his feet and go into his fighting form. "Damn! Do you think you have the power to face me? In the same instant, I'll crush them like the garbage that they are." Yamoshi switched to his combat form, and without warning, he launched into the attack, giving both villains some very good blows. The battle would continue for a few more minutes, where both villains would take the advantage, until from one moment to another, he would stop the attack that Yamoshi was going to receive. After a few moments, Yamoshi and Kronos began to train. A strange force was taking away my power little by little. What they both didn't know was that Frieza and Cell would have created a technique that would have snatched the energy, leaving the rival without any power, and this technique would be called Rapture of Gods. After a while, both warriors were already prepared to go face Son Goku. Frieza and Cell had a special technique in case Son Goku turned out to be much more powerful than them. Go to Nin's planet. After a few moments, everyone on Nin's planet would feel that power. However, Goku would recognize these powers. Those ki were from Frieza and Cell. Apparently the Archangels have revived two of my greatest rivals. After some time, the two villains would reach the battlefield. Yeah, monkey! Finally today you will die! That's right, Son Goku. You are very powerful, but you can't against us two together. I'm not alone. Can't you see my family? No, we will trust each other, so from now on, I'll use my maximum power. Frieza would go on to his new transformation called Diamond Frieza. And Cell by having the Saiyan cells go to Super Saiyan Blue. All those present would be surprised by such power. What the hell? How long have they been training? Ha ha ha! You don't remember that we're the prodigies. You better be prepared, Son Goku. However, a voice would resound from everyone's back. Son Goku, let us take care of this to us. Kakarot from Universe 14 would also come forward, where both villains were surprised by the presence of two Gokus. Two Gokus? What's going on? Don't get too confused, Cold Demon. I'm Kakarot from Universe 14, so get ready. I'll tear you to pieces. After a moment, the battle would begin. The whole universe would begin to shake in a bestial way. Frieza and Kakarot exchanged some very good blows between them. I see that you have great power, but that will not be enough for you to defeat the evil Emperor. Meanwhile, with Cell and Kinoto, they were also exchanging blows. However, Kinoto would be fighting at the same level as Cell since he wanted to. The final battle would resume. However, there's no clear winner. Meanwhile, on the floating castle, damn it, those two do not use their full power. How come they're not using their full power? Or do they have even more power? Those two have much more power and are overconfident. Yamoshi would be surprised, knowing that the two mere mortals had amazing power. Meanwhile, Frieza and Cell would be confident they realized that the two Saiyans would be using all their power. Simple monkeys, we're not using our full power. Frieza and Cell would begin to take the battle a little more seriously, having more and more advantage. However, Kakarot and Kinoto would be trying to resist such a monstrous attack. It's impressive how these two have increased their power in a ridiculous, incredible way, surpassing even the power of Kinoto and Kakarot. If things continue like this, I'll have to intervene. Returning to the fight, Kakarot and Kinoto would appear very injured and tired. It'd be even seen at a glance that they had trouble breathing, while Frieza and Cell would not even be affected by their breathing. That's right, they were like at the beginning of the fight. Those two aren't using all their power, and apparently, it's not difficult for them to defeat Kinoto or Kakarot. Goku would take a step forward. I see that their powers have increased greatly. Perhaps they're worthy opponents. Frieza and Cell would get a little angry about that comment. At the moment, Frieza would launch the attack. Damn you, monkey! Don't underestimate us! We'll kill you! Cell would support Frieza launching into the attack too. However, Goku would be able to observe all his movements, and with two strong blows, he would leave them lying on the ground very injured. Goku would put himself in the battle pose until Frieza and Cell would recover from the blows, launching into an attack. After a few moments of exchanging blows and ki blasts, Goku would be humiliating both warriors. Meanwhile, in the floating castle, Kronos was very surprised to realize that those two had already used all their power, and they would not be able to make Goku use a little of his immense power. That Saiyan becomes more powerful every day. He really is the golden legendary. Going back to the battlefield, Goku would continue to humiliate both villains until leaving them on the ground. Goku would stop his attack. I have no intention of killing them, so get out of here. And don't cause any problems in this universe again, or else I'll have to exterminate them. Frieza and Cell would get up very weakened. You always trust Goku. Now let's see what you do with this. Union of Souls! A great light would blind everyone, and a power that would make the entire multiverse rumble, destroying planets and galaxies. When Goku felt all the power that they emanated, he would be perplexed. It's not a normal fusion. What the hell have they done? At that moment that the light dissipated, a new warrior would appear, who would be the fusion of Cell and Frieza. Son Goku, you have taken us too far. Contemplate the true power of a god. Without warning, this new warrior would give Goku a great blow that would send him flying hundreds of kilometers, and at a maximum speed he would appear behind him, giving him a strong blow. Goku would be a little injured from these two simple blows. After a few moments, Goku would be injured. However, he'd stand up. His united power is impressive. Since separated, they were nothing more than simple flies. Now I'll have a worthy rival of whom I can use all my majestic power. Goku would then begin to rise his power in a bestial way, where the same planet, universes, and timelines were affected by this great power. When Goku finished raising all his power, he would return to observe them. I hope you're ready, since I'm at 80% of my full power now. Everyone would be surprised, since the power that is emanated was immense. After a moment, Goku would come out of the crater that they had sent him. This is a worthy opponent. To be able to defeat him, I'll have to use all my power. Feeling that the power of his enemy and was not losing, Goku decided to use much more power. However, Frieza was not surprised by such an increase in power, and after a moment, Goku would finish raising his power without warning. At the speed of the light, Goku would give him a shrapnel of blows, and that's how the battle would decide the future of the entire multiverse begin. The clashes of his fists were so bestial that they distorted reality itself. Is that a battle? Not even beings of our level can even see them. So Son Goku, you've been holding back all this time and your power level is amazing. Sometime later, both warriors appeared. However, Frieza would have fewer wounds than Son Goku. Oh, I see that you are trying, damn monkey. But even with all the efforts you make, you will not be able to defeat us. Meanwhile, in another multiverse, there was a Supreme Archangel. That immense power that is felt is capable of defeating most of the Supreme Archangels. Only King-level Archangels are capable of facing that power. But hopefully that warrior is capable of defeating the Golden Ozoru, since I don't want to be the one to take care of that damned insect myself. Returning to the battlefield, Goku would have many more wounds. You've increased your power level in a great way. You're the most powerful rival I've ever faced. You're perfect to test my new power. What no one knew was that the power that Goku showed was his maximum power before he entered, stopping Son Goku's attack with extreme ease. Who are you, and what are you looking for in this place? My name is Raziel, and all I seek is the annihilation of all megaverses. This would return to see Frieza. I see that they have a great hidden power. They should not die here today. Raziel would make a technique which would make Frieza return to the floating castle. At the moment they arrived, Kronos would be surprised. What happened? How did they get back? Kronos, through his crystal ball, would observe everything that happened, noticing the warrior who was in front of the Golden Ozoru. It's impossible! They have sent Raziel! Flashback, Raziel was at the level of the Supreme Archangel. His power was so much that his archangels feared his power, until one day one of the archangels confronted him. Since he did not belong to that place, the battle that took place I carried out was terrifying for that multiverse. However, Raziel turned out to be a little stronger than that archangel, being able to defeat him. From that moment, all the other archangels feared his amazing power. Even the most powerful warrior knows the defeat at some point in his life. That's right, Raziel, overshadowed by the great power of the legendary Golden Azaru, the Great Kakarot. Raziel would train non-stop until he found out that he would have been banished from his power, and millions of years later, he would be reborn without any of his memories or powers. Raziel, learning that the Golden Azaru had already been reborn, allowed him to become much more powerful in order to have a worthy fight. End of flashback. Goku would get into a fighting pose. At that moment, Raziel would increase his fighting level a bit, causing a surprising gravity to drop throughout the place. The power of this guy is extreme! Even I find it hard to breathe. After a few moments, Raziel launched the attack. At the precise moment, Goku raised all his remaining power since he knew that the beginning in front of him had to face him with all his power. Both warriors began with an incredible battle. Meanwhile, in the floating castle, Kronos was observing the great battle. Those two monsters, I don't know how the hell they have so much power. Meanwhile, in the underworld, Ryuk was a little surprised due to the powers that he perceived. We really should increase our powers much more. If not, we would be rivals for those guys. Returning to the battlefield, the clash of fists would continue while they exchanged blows. You are disappointing me, Golden Azaru. You really are not the one I faced millions of years ago. Did you and I already face each other? I don't remember you. At that moment, without warning, Raziel would launch a large ball of energy at him that would make Goku fall to the planet very badly injured. Raziel would rise into the air. Great Kakarot, Golden Azaru, you have really disappointed me. I did not think that my rival would be so weak. Raziel would charge an even greater power. Nevertheless, by condensing much more power, the attack was slow, but Nin was the difficulty due to the gravity would heal Goku. I think I'll die if I don't use this technique, but I'll still die if that attack collides with us. Goku would then raise his power to the maximum, breaking all his limits. Kaioken! Enhance 100 times! The power that this would have released would be incredible, managing to return all that massive attack in a single blow. I knew you'd have much more power. That's Golden Azaru. Show me what you're capable of. Goku, without warning, would begin to slaughter Raziel that would make him fall to the ground again and again. However, he would not have any scratches. Furious, Goku would concentrate all his power in his fist. Dragon God Destroyer! Explosive blow! An immense dragon would come out of his fist. Raziel would raise his power a little more and was able to stop that colossal attack with one hand. Everyone present was surprised. Impossible! I concentrate all my power in that attack. How did you stop it? You cannot have stopped it with one hand. Raziel would whisper something in the ear, and a strong blow to the back of his neck would knock him out. Raziel would rise to the sky. The Golden Azaru made me use 45% of all my power. Just for that, I'll spare your lives this time. But don't get excited, because the next time we meet, we'll be enemies to the death. Raziel would disappear from that place. Meanwhile, in the floating castle, a very furious Kronos. What the hell is happening to Raziel? That damn had the power to exterminate him, and he didn't do it. The Golden Azaru was the only one that made Raziel to feel defeat, and Son Goku is not at the level he was before. Most likely Raziel wants to defeat Son Goku when he has all his power, so he can defeat will be much more humiliating. Kronos would calm down a bit from the explanation that Yamoshi would have given him. Let's hope this doesn't get out of hand for Raziel. Returning to Nin's planet, Goku was very badly injured. Raziel would have left him in a terrible condition, that he was even on the verge of death. Nin would begin to heal him with his great power, but he would not wake up. What Raziel had not done was awaken a large part of his memories of the past, and that he would be able to overcome the Great Barrier of Power and gave him a great battle again, since it is the combat that he's waiting for. And the friends of Goku, they would be very worried. His ki is stable, and his wounds are healed. Why doesn't he wake up? no one present would be able to answer, and the only thing they could do was wait for the one hope to awaken. However, the Saiyans would be furious at not being able to help at all, and being prey to that incredible pressure would have crushed them as if the gravity was involved. They had it was insufficient to defeat the enemies that were about to face. On the other hand, in the mind of Son Goku, or to be more exact in his memories, he could observe the Golden Ozoru, who was the protector of all the multiverses and was loved by all these beings. However, from a different megaverse came 12 beings of great power called the Supreme Archangels. Everyone must kneel before us. We will be the new rulers of this multiverse. The Golden Ozoru, with the help of the Crimson Ozoru, were able to eliminate 6 of those archangels. However, the Crimson Ozoru, named Miroku, would also have fallen in battle. Since then, there are only 6 Supreme Archangels. Kakarot managed to escape, but in the beings that he trusted the most and the leaders of the great clans. They betrayed him by creating a powerful seal that'd be able to suppress much of his power and would make him perish imminently. But before he died, he used his technique to be able to be reborn and keep his memories sealed. What Raziel would have done was for all those memories to be recovered little by little, including his great power that was feared by the Supreme Archangels. Meanwhile, Raziel was in a very distant place. Son Goku, your power is not even a 10th of the power you had before. So make yourself much more powerful and give me the battle that I've really longed for millions of years. Only you can be my rival. Meanwhile, in the floating castle, Kronos was talking to Akira. Raziel, believing himself to be the most powerful, he thinks that he can do whatever he wants. Hopefully he'll be defeated for being so trusting. No. If the Golden Ozoru defeats Raziel, the next on his list will be us. The most advisable thing is that those two kill each other, or when one of them's well wounded, we'll give him the coup de grace. I want to be the one to give him the damned Raziel the coup de grace. He took everything from me and humiliated me so many times. Meanwhile, in the training field, Frieza and Cell would be furious since they are training. They could not be at the level of Son Goku, where they would train harder to be able to take revenge on that damn monkey. However, returning to Neen's planet, everyone would be resting unannounced. Damn, do you think they would get away with them after having killed my younger brother, the Crimson Ozoru? I'll kill them one by one, I swear! Goku, being unconscious, would say a few words that would especially astonish Kurobi, since he would have heard the existence of the Crimson Ozoru. What is happening to my Goku? No one would know what this would be happening to him. Meanwhile, very far from that place, on an inhospitable planet, was Raziel. Son Goku, make yourself much more powerful, since I need your power to be the... Susanoo would go to the training field, where Cell and Frieza would be in a fight. But before taking a powerful blow, Susanoo would appear in the middle of the two, stopping their blows with extreme ease. I need you to raise all your power to the maximum, and be able to dominate it. Both villains raised him. Cell would go to Super Saiyan Blue maximum power, while Frieza would go to Diamond Frieza maximum power, where his power would have risen to an incredible way. However, they would not be rivals for the Golden Ozoru. Susanoo would create a room so that his training would be much more effective. In this room, time passes differently. While here only one day passes outside, 10 years will pass inside. Train as much as you can, because soon you will face the Golden Ozoru again. Strongest training would have until then. Susanoo would return to Kronos. They did increase their fighting level, but it's still low. I make them train in another dimension and raise their powers much faster. We'll give them 3 days to train so that they can become more powerful at the end of those 3 days. They'll go to face the Golden Ozoru to help with Dante. I want to put an end to this once and for all. Kronos would be determined to end the life of the Golden Ozoru once and for all. Meanwhile, in another multiverse, there was another Archangel. Kronos is taking that Golden Ozoru to heart, but if the power he possesses is not compared to before, there is no reason to fear him. He is a poor insect who does not even have the power to destroy a multiverse. Returning to Nin's planet, they would continue waiting for Goku to wake up. However, he still hadn't woken up at that time. The Saiyans would have trained very hard to be of help in that great battle. 2 days had already passed since that guy. What they didn't know was that 3 extremely powerful warriors would be about to attack them. Without Goku's help, it would be very difficult for them. Meanwhile, Kronos was in the floating castle waiting for the 3 days to pass. Within the dimension, gravity little by little making it much complicated for Frieza and Cell. However, they got used to said gravity, which made their training much more effective. Cell and Frieza would have reached a level of incredible power that they never imagined being able to reach it when the 3 days were up. Susanoo would make these two leave said dimension, but when they left, the floating castle would tremble. That's right, the power of these two was unreal.
Are you ready to end the Golden Ozoru?
Of course, we're ready to finish off that damn monkey.
This time, we will tear it to pieces with our bare hands.
Kronos would telepathically communicate with Ryuk.
Ryuk, bring Dante to the castle. Today, we will attack.
After a few moments, both would arrive at the floating castle. The moment they arrived, a great pressure was felt in the environment due to the power that it gave off.
Cell, Frieza, Dante, you are in charge of exterminating the Golden Ozoru.
The 3 warriors accepted the mission, and from one moment to another, they began to fly through the universe at an impressive speed, even distorting reality itself with their speeds. However, the one who flew the fastest was Dante. It would take them 25 minutes to arrive to Nin's planet. Meanwhile, on Nin's planet, everyone would be training while Nin would be watching Goku. However, from one moment to another, Kinoto would scream,
"Stop! 3 giant powers are approaching fast. If they keep their speed, they will arrive in approximately 15 minutes. So get ready."
The Nin goddess would heal every one of their wounds and make everyone recover their energy. Everyone would be ready to receive the new enemies. After those 15 minutes, the 3 individuals would arrive, where Frieza and Cell would observe Goku out of combat.
"They're finishing, damn monkeys. Without that Saiyan, you are nothing."
At that precise moment, Dante would step forward, causing an impressive gravity to fall due to his overwhelming power.
Do not trust. All of them keep great power. Do they want to be defeated again?
With the previous comment, Frieza and Cell got angry. They would raise their power, leaving everyone present amazed.
I'll take care of them too. Come and Kakaroto, you take care of that guy who I can feel's powers much higher than Frieza and Cell. But if they attack together, they will have a little more chance.
Thus, the battle would begin, where Kinoto would raise his power to the maximum and to be able to face Frieza and Cell together, who after training for so many years, their coordination was practically perfect. While Karma and Kakaroto, despite having raised their level power in a great way, they would not be able to give a single blow to Dante, who is only in charge of dodging and blocking.
I never thought to face a guy of this level, but we will exterminate you some way. Ha ha ha! And that they haven't seen anything.
Dante, at a flashing speed, would give them his shrapnel of blows, causing the place where they were to be destroyed, and causing them all to fall to the ground without being able to see anything.
"What the hell? I can't see anything!"
Dante would be with a smile on the top of the planet.
Ha 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 ha! I don't think you are allies of the Golden Ozoru, if your level of power is compared to simple ants.
Kakaroto and Karma, hearing what Dante said, would get even angrier, going to attack anyway. However, the result was the same. Meanwhile, in the floating castle, Kronos and Ryuk were observing the great battle that they would be having.
If all goes well, we will be victorious, and we will have the head of the Golden Ozoru. With that, we won't have to worry about that damn monkey anymore.
Going back to the battlefield, Kinoto would be very evenly matched with Frieza and Cell.
I see you have raised your power in an incredible way, but you will not be able to against me.
Our separate powers are similar to yours, but let's see what happens when we merge.
Kinoto would launch at maximum speed to avoid it. However, it was too late. That's right, Frieza would have appeared on the battlefield with a powerful blow that almost left him out of combat. He would crash into multiple rocks. Nin would be protecting Goku with an energy field.
Goku, please wake up! We need your power!
Meanwhile, with the battle, these would be in favor of the Archangel, since Karma and Kakaroto would also have received some good blows. Having great damage from Kinoto, he would be receiving some good blows that would not even defend him due to such overwhelming power at that moment. Frieza of a powerful blow would send him to crash with Karma and Kakaroto. That's right, the three warriors would fall to the ground very badly wounded and completely defeated. Dante would create a large sphere of ki to exterminate them.
This is their end. There were no challenge. They didn't even help me to warm up, damn worms.
However, the attack would not collide with them. Dante, confused, would charge another sphere with even more power, and the same thing happened at that precise moment. Dante and Frieza fell with a heavy blow, and a voice would resonate.
Did they think I'd let them exterminate my family?
That's right, Goku would have managed to wake up from that dream that almost ended his entire family and himself without having the opportunity to defend himself.
Goku finally woke up!
Of course I've woken up. I'm not going to let these damned ones finish off my loved ones.
Goku with a cold look would observe Frieza.
I gave you one last chance, and you missed it. On this planet, it'll be your death.
Frieza and Dante would put themselves in a battle pose, raising their power to the maximum. However, they did not realize Goku would have given them a flurry of blows, making them fall to the ground very badly injured. These two were surprised by such overwhelming power.
I see that the Golden Ozoru's not an insect after all. Your allies were garbage. They're not my allies. They're my family. You dare to hurt them. I will not forgive you.
Goku would start the attack where Dante and Frieza would think they had an advantage being 2 against 1. They would be pressured more and more by Goku's powerful attacks.
This was good for warming up.
Meanwhile, Kinoto managed to hear what Goku said. Kinoto would be surprised.
How warm up? Hasn't he been using all his power?
Kinoto was not the only one surprised. That's right, Dante and Frieza would also have been in shock at that moment. Goku began to raise his power to incredible levels. Meanwhile, in a very distant place, Raziel, who is feeling such a brutal power.
That's Kakaroto.
Keeping increasing all your power, you still haven't even reached 50%. Recover all of your power fast. And finally, soon we'll be able to put an end to all that negative energy that corrupts the other gods and beings of great power. Returning to the battlefield, Goku would have increased his power in a chilling way.
I think that with my 80%, it'll be more than enough.
Goku from one moment to another teleported, appearing in front of Frieza.
I told you that I've given you one last chance. Die! Attack of the Dragon God Destroyer!
That's right, Goku exterminated Frieza with a single blow. At that moment, he was a little scared.
What the hell? Since when do you have that immense power? When we arrived on this planet, your power reserves were almost at 0. Thanks to you, I've woken up. I could feel a great power that was going to collide with my planet and friends. That's right, you trusted since you could finish them off once and for all. But you gave me time to wake up. Like that now will be your end.
Dante, a little scared, would raise all his power that was hidden.
I do not think to die so easily. I will not die here.
Meanwhile, in the floating castle, Kronos was surprised.
That bastard is recovering all his power little by little. I think that I should be the one to finish off that damn monkey.
Returning to Nin's planet, the battle would be totally in favor of Son Goku. The clash of his fists would be causing lightning to fall everywhere. Dante would already be very badly injured because he would have received some very good blows from Goku.
Dante, you're a great warrior. I hope that in the future you'll be reborn as someone with a good heart, and we can have our revenge. But in the meantime, you die. Receive the power of increased 100 times!
Dante would try to stop the great attack. He would not do anything to stop it or deflect it. Dante would be ashes. There'd be no trace of it. Goku would decrease his power in return to observe his friends.
Is everyone alright?
At that moment, Nin would go to hug Goku and kiss him.
Son Goku, how did you awaken that immense power?
Goku began to tell them everything that had happened.
When Raziel knocked me out, he made me remember my past life. That's right, friends. I'm the legendary Golden Ozoru, and I know that I must exterminate all those damns since they killed my younger brother, the Crimson Ozoru.
All these present were surprised.
You must increase your powers much more since we're very close to the final battle. Nin, please create a much more powerful time room.
I can't create a room like that, since I don't have enough power to do it.
Don't worry about that, Nin. I'll give you a large part of my power so that you can create said room.
Goku would give him a large part of his power, where, with that brutal power, he would be able to create the time room. All the warriors would enter to train.
I don't know if I'm at the level of an Archangel. However, you should be able to defeat me. No matter what method you use, you should be able to do it.
Are you sure you can beat all of us together?
They can't even give me a single hit.
Karma, a little annoyed by that comment, would launch himself against Goku. At that precise moment, everyone else would follow by launching against Goku, but indeed, Goku did nothing but dodge all his attacks. However, at that very moment, would be much angrier since Goku was underestimating them too much.
I'll attack too. Don't think that only you will do it.
Goku in a single movement left everyone lying on the ground. At that moment, everyone would stand up with extreme difficulty.
Show me what they're capable of, since together we must defeat them. Get ready. Now to be our turn to attack those damn Archangels.
Goku would be training with all his friends. That's right, everyone was preparing for the great battle that was coming. After a few months, all the warriors would be able to give Son Goku a little fight. However, they couldn't defeat him. After years, the warriors would have reached a high level of power, becoming more powerful every day.
You keep training.
And you, Goku? Well, what will you do?
I'll end an Archangel. To be more specific, I'll end the life of the Supreme Archangel Kronos. But don't worry about me. I have enough power to exterminate him.
Goku would leave the room of time, and he, having recovered his memories, would know the location of the floating castle. That's right, Goku would use teleportation when feeling the power of Kronos, and Goku would appear in front of Kronos.
How the hell did you get here? So after millions of years, you're still alive, Kronos. You're the one I hate the most. Since it's your damn fault I lost my little brother, you better be ready to die.
Goku would increase his power, and the entire floating castle began to shake at that moment. Goku shot him out with a strong blow that Kronos was not able to stop. At that moment, a great battle between a supreme level Archangel and a Golden Ozoru would have begun, where said battle would be very close, however, in a very distant place.
Is that the Saiyan? How the hell did he raise his power so much in such a short time? Damn, we would have exterminated him when he still didn't have all his power. We trust, on the other hand, Raziel would feel the great pressure of that battle.
I see. So Kakaroto could not contain the desire to exterminate Kronos. He has freed me from doing it myself, because if he did not do it, I would have taken care of him, making him suffer slowly. I had enough.
Returning to the battlefield, they would be having a great battle. Everything shaking around them, the clash of their fists was unreal.
If I hadn't been for the help of the other Archangels and that damn seal, they wouldn't have been able to defeat me.
By passing the battle, Goku would be having the advantage. That's right, Goku was favored by having long battles since his ki reserves were so many that they seemed unlimited, and his opponents, not having said reserves, would get much more tired than they are of Goku. Kronos, he was no longer able to do anything to defend himself.
When you finish with 5 of us, you'll know the true terror. When facing the last Archangel, you will regret all this.
Goku would not give importance to the words of Kronos, and he would launch a powerful energy sphere at him. Goku leaving no trace of Kronos, he would return to his planet. Entering the time room, everyone would be surprised.
Have you killed an Archangel already? That's right.
Now that I'm recovering my powers, they don't know how far I'm capable of going.
Everyone was surprised, however. They would also continue training since they did not want to stay so far behind Son Goku. Meanwhile, Kira was in the floating castle.
What the hell? How was that damn monkey able to defeat Kronos with such extreme ease?
Akira would have the place heading to his territory, where all the Archangels began to prepare hard. They knew that only one side could stay alive. However, it was clear that Akira was one of the most scared Archangels, since he would have witnessed the power of the Golden Ozoru up close, and knew that it was not easy to defeat him. With the help of a room designed for beings of great power, he would begin to increase his powers. All the Archangels would be looking for methods to increase their powers. Meanwhile, on the planet of Nin, everyone would have already left said training and would be resting, but from one moment to another, Goku would remind Margarita that she would have helped him when he had nothing. Goku, with his incredible power, was able to create a portal to another dimension by doing that. Margarita can get out of where she was. Margarita, witnessing Goku, would be too happy and run to hug him.
How could you get me out of the dimension that my father created? My power was now surpassed that of the great priest, that even the king of everything, Zeno-sama. What? How is it possible that you've surpassed the most powerful deities of the 12 universes?
Goku would begin to tell him all his adversaries that he has lived up to that moment, while Margarita was locked up in said dimension. Goku would present Margarita with all his friends, and where everyone would accept her with open arms, knowing that this was Goku's teacher and since helped him when he could not defend himself. However, everything would not be happiness. Since Margarita had something very important to tell him, Margarita would ask to speak to Goku alone. Goku, noticing Margarita's expression, would accept, and they would leave to a much more private place.
What's wrong, Margarita? I noticed you are a little anguished and worried. It is normal that you are scared. Even you will be when you know what I have to tell you.
Goku, with much more intrigue and a little thoughtful,
What's wrong? Tell me once and for all.
When I got to that dimension, everything was chaos. I seemed to be in crimson purgatory. However, thanks to my great power, I was able to survive. It was very difficult even for me to survive in that place. After a few years...
What? What years? What do you mean?
I only spent a few months locked up. In that dimension, it wasn't months. It was years. I thought that the king of everything was the supreme authority of this universe, but no. We find ourselves in a multiverse, and likewise, there are deities that take care of this multiverse who are called the Supreme Archangels.
Margarita, they're not protectors. They're destroyers. In my past life, they were the ones who stripped me of my power and killed me. They are the ones that put the universe in chaos. Are they the protectors for you?
I know that currently they're no longer protectors, now that they're destroyers, but for everything there is a logical explanation. Millions of years ago, we heard the story of creator gods, and that they had 2 children, but we did not know if it was true or a lie. However, everything turned out to be true, since one of those sons was Zeno-sama, but the other pure evil brother was identical to him. But his heart was full of pure evil, and he was on top of all ranges that are known so far. That's right, Goku, the Archangels were warriors sent by the Creator God, but they perished against Dark Zeno, and this one was the absolute control and ability, was able to turn them into his puppets, doing with them what he pleases, and in revenge on his father, he began to destroy the multiverse of his brother. Zeno-sama was being still very young. He didn't know the existence of the multiverses, till a warrior named Kakaroto was able to defeat 6 of them, but dying with them until you were reborn, Son Goku. You are the Golden Ozoru. You are the savior of this entire multiverse. Goku would be very surprised by everything told by Margarita, since it seemed unreal.
So all my life I was wrong? The real killer of my dear brother is that guy called Dark Zero.
I understand how you must feel, but even if you can defeat the remaining Archangels, it'll be impossible for you to defeat Dark Zeno. since when I was in that dimension, all his overwhelming power was in that place, and it was only a small portion, and still, it was difficult for me to survive. He will exterminate you, or worse, he will use his control ability on you.
If everything you have told me is true, I'll have to sacrifice the 5 archangels that I need, and when he realizes that he'll have to show his face, I'll exterminate him with my own hands. I'll not forgive that damn worm!
Meanwhile, in a very distant place, Akira was thinking, at that moment, another archangel named Radio would arrive.
You, Akira, who was in this place, tell me, how high is the power of that damned monkey?
At that moment, Akira would begin to tell him everything that had happened.
Even Kronos with his maximum power is not able to do anything. We're lost.
Kronos was the 4th most powerful archangel of us, but the only thing that made him special was his ability. But nevertheless, the Golden Ozoru did not give him time for him to execute it. I guess it is time that I myself take care of that Ozoru.
I hope you will at this time.
However, Akira did not receive any answer. Radio would think and say to himself,
I will not do it right now. I'll exterminate him when the last 4 archangels have died to keep all his powers.
I still need to master the power of Kronos and his special ability. Radio would leave that place to master the power of Kronos. Meanwhile, with Raziel, he would be meditating. He would have a bad feeling of everything that would be happening. Everything has gone well, but I don't feel confident. I don't like something about this situation. But very far from those multiverses, to be more exact in another megaverse, was Dark Zeno with a smile.
So the Golden Ozoru reincarnated and already killed one of my puppets. How interesting. This time he will know what it is to tremble with terror.
Returning to the planet of the Nin Goddess, they would all be gathered together waiting for something to happen, where at that moment Margarita, proud of all the warriors. You have finished all your training. I congratulate you. You have reached a great level of power, and when you will have one last test with me, so that you're able to master all your ki to perfection, and the divine ki, since Saiyans, as they are, Karma, Kirobi, Kinoto, Kakaroto, and Son Goku have both ki, but they must stop half being mortals to become true Saiyan gods. That's right, everyone would start their last training that was only based on meditation and be able to end all their internal fears in order to leave their mortal part and achieve a new level of power. Meanwhile, Margarita was watching everyone realize that the one who had the most difficulty meditating was Kinoto, since this was the Dark Supreme Saiyan and it was difficult for him to stay calm.
Damn! I can't meditate! What the hell is this training? We Saiyans do not need to meditate to increase our powers. What we really need is for someone to leave us wounded to death so that our Zenkai becomes much more powerful.
Kinoto, blinded by anger, would charge 2 ki spheres and attack Margarita. Before he touched her, Goku would take Kinoto's arms, squeezing them with great force.
Do you know who you just attacked? She's the woman who saved my life. So behave, Kinoto!
Goku would have given him a strong blow, leaving him out of combat. Goku would continue with his meditation again, where, after some time, Kinoto would have woken up and continued with his meditation again. They already managed to get rid of their mortal part. That's right, these were already gods in every sense of the word. Meanwhile, in Akira's multiverse, he was thinking it would be right to attack the Saiyan right now.
If I go with at least one more Archangel, we could defeat them, since their allies aren't that powerful after all.
At that moment, a voice would resound throughout the universe.
No, Akira. The first thing you should do is to get rid of Raziel, because if Raziel and the Golden Ozoru come together, they will be a great threat to everyone.
At that moment, Akira went to the multiverse of the Archangel Luciel.
What are you doing here, Akira? Between you and me, we will exterminate Raziel, so in the future, he will not be a threat to all of us.
Akira would not have gone to the multiverse of the Archangel Luciel to attack Raziel together.
I'm not going to team up with you, Akira, since I can only end the life of the insect of Raziel.
At that moment, the same voice would resound throughout the universe.
Go with Akira and finish off Raziel once and for all. Do not let them become more powerful.
At that moment, both archangels would go to the point where Raziel was. Meanwhile, with Raziel, he would continue meditating. He would feel the power of Akira and Luciel approaching.
Now what the hell do these two want? I'm not going to join them to end Kakaroto.
Akira and Luciel would be about to get to Raziel. After a few moments, they would arrive. Raziel would slightly raise his power with a very cold voice.
What are you doing here? I do not intend to ally with you to exterminate the Golden Ozoru. We're not here for you to join us. We're here for the simple fact that we will kill you. You two can kill me. That was a great joke in case you don't remember. I killed the most powerful Archangel. You wouldn't be rivals for me.
At that moment, Luciel and Akira would put themselves in fighting pose. Like them, Raziel would also put themselves in a battle pose. In a few milliseconds, a battle would begin that would shake the entire multiverse, causing the clash of their fists to sit down to the planet of Bainin.
Those powers are colliding are immense. They're 2 against 1, and apparently they're attacking Raziel.
Goku, having recovered his memories, would know that Raziel was not a bad person and did everything in order to protect the multiverses. Where Goku, without prior notice, left the planet at a great speed, which would cause space itself to be distorted back to the battle. Raziel would be a bit surprised.
How the heck did they increase their fighting level so much? You two shouldn't be a problem for me. Don't underestimate us, dumb. We're king-level archangels, and you are nothing compared to us. I must congratulate you after all. It's been a long time since I didn't fight seriously with someone. That's right, I'll use 100% of all my power. You better be prepared.
Raziel, having total control of all energy of his body, increased his power to the maximum. In a few seconds, and at a flashing speed, he launched himself into the attack again, causing everything to tremble in his path. That's right, Raziel began to give them a shrapnel of blows to both archangels.
Receive this, Heavenly Ice Blizzard!
That's how everything around him would begin to freeze. Raziel tried to evade the attack, but it was useless, since it was a full-range attack, and Raziel being frozen and without movement, Akira would scream, "Now receive my attack! Divine Destroyer Cannon!" Akira charged a sphere of energy so powerful that it made other timelines appear. That's right, his attack distorted the realities themselves. His attack would collide with Raziel, however, he would not be able to kill him. Raziel would come out with only a few wounds and very furious.
Akira and Luciel, finish Raziel quickly. The Ozoru is approaching at a great speed. If they unite, they will be a danger. Who the hell are you? Are you manipulating them?
This one could not finish the sentence since both archangels were already stealthily attacking him, since they took the battle much more seriously. They started with a much more violent attack, but Raziel, having great power, would still give them a fight.
Raziel, that warrior who once was at top of all the archangels, is now biting the ground. That's right, Raziel. You don't know how much I wanted to do this, to be able to exterminate you once and for all with my own hands, and to be able to make you pay for the humiliation you gave us all for not being at your level. Do you think that you're being used? When they're no longer useful, they're killed.
Luciel would take him by the face, staring at him.
You don't know anything. The great Dark Zeno will be the ruler of everything that exists, and to exist, we will be his most faithful warriors.
Raziel was surprised due to these words. At that moment, Luciel and Akira moved away a little, creating a great attack launching at Raziel occurred. Since a few centimeters hit him, Son Goku would have deflected the attack of a great blow. Goku would take Raziel's hand, healing all his wounds and giving him back the lost power. It should be noted that when Goku trained with Margarita, she taught him his ability. Raziel would stand up.
Kakaroto, knew that you would feel my power and come help me. You were the only warrior who did not turn against me millions of years ago, and I know that your intentions are pure. They are being manipulated by a guy who calls himself Dark Zeno. That damn thing started with his attack. How do you even know him?
I have to tell you everything that has happened and the true identity of the Supreme Archangels. But for now, let's finish these two subjects.
At that moment, Akira and Lucille would return to their battle pose, and they would be ready to fight. The battle would begin, the clash of the fists, so that even the Nin planet that was in another multiverse trembles. Due to the power of his fist, returning to Nin's planet, everyone was surprised by said power. I hope nothing happens to my Goku. Son Goku is most powerful warrior I've ever met. Believe me, he'll not lose as a pathetic warrior. He always looks for a way to overcome his limits. Returning to the battlefield, they would be very even, but the one who had the most difficulty in following the battle was Goku, since he had not yet recovered all his power.
Damn, if I only had all my power, this damn Akira wouldn't be a match for me, and I'd exterminate him with a single blow. Calm down. They're using a power that they do not master and that they will have a great consequence. Just continue as you're doing now. As time goes by, they'll lose.
After a few moments, Raziel would have managed to end Lucille's life, where before he died, he would return to normal.
Thank you very much for freeing me from the power of Dark Zeno. I entrust you with my Raziel multiverse.
That's right, Lucille would disappear into nothing. Meanwhile, Goku was getting stronger every moment and would be dominating the battle little by little. At that moment, Akira would go into despair, using even more power than his body could withstand. But that was useless since Goku concentrated all his power in his last blow.
Get this, Akira! Divine Destroyer Dragon God Explosive Attack!
Goku's fist would form a huge dragon, eliminating Akira once and for all. Where Goku said Raziel would be without any ki reserves, but with Goku's teleportation, they would reach Nin's planet, where it would heal them and make them recover all his powers. On the other hand, in a very distant place in that megaverse, Dark Zeno was a little annoyed.
Akira, your plan has failed. The Golden Ozoru and Raziel are now allies. What do you intend to do about it?
I apologize, great Dark Zeno. I promise that nothing like this will ever happen again. Please, have mercy.
It will be the last damn time. The next time I'll kill you myself.
Akira, with fear, would leave the place, leaving only Dark Zeno.
Dark Gogeta, come immediately.
Where after a few seconds, a Gogeta with flesh-red hair would appear in front of Dark Zeno.
Tell me, my great Dark Zeno, I'm here to serve you.
Go to my brother's Megaverse and start destroying everything. And remember, don't kill the Golden Ozoru. I want him to be one of my elite warriors.
As you order, great Dark Zeno.
Dark Gogeta opened a portal heading to the Megaverse of Zeno-sama, where upon arrival, he would begin to destroy everything that existed. There was no warrior to compare with this power. Goku and the others did not feel his ki, since he appeared very far from that multiverse. Gogeta, when he ran into the two other Archangels, would exterminate them without any problem. With this, he absorbed all of their powers, but he was in a trance state to adapt all the power to his body. When Dark Gogeta witnessed that no one was a rival for him, Dark Gogeta began to get upset. From one moment to another, an immense power was felt that ran through the entire multiverse. Even Dark Gogeta would look a little amazed. Likewise, Dark Gogeta went from where he had been seeing such immense power, observing a strange subject.
Who the hell are you?
I am Dark Gogeta, the evil Saiyan.
So a Saiyan because the time of your death has come.
Gogeta would be a little surprised by all the power that guy gave off.
You have had a very bad luck, friend. You will be my punching bag and with whom I will test my new powers.
I don't think I'm as weak as those Archangels. I'll exterminate you before you can even blink. Both warriors exchanged glances, and at that very moment they began with a very intense combat. The space itself was distorted by such ki pressure. Meanwhile, on the Nin planet, they were all gathered, including Raziel, but from one moment to another.
I have a bad feeling. Something very serious is about to happen or is happening.
No, Goku, they're just your assumptions.
No, I can also feel a very strong feeling of death.
Everyone would be a little intrigued. Returning to the battlefield, both warriors would be equal. That is, a clear winner could not be observed while exchanging blows. Gogeta would say to him,
"How the hell can you put up an even match with me? Are you stronger than the Golden Ozoru?"
At that moment, Raito would give him a blow that would send him flying and tell him,
"I'm the most powerful being in this multiverse. And in any other, and answering your question, yes, I'm much stronger than the Golden Ozoru, and you being a Saiyan, like he prepared to die."
At that moment, he would soon use one of his new techniques,
Supreme God's Rapture!
At that moment, Dark Gogeta felt like a large part of his powers were stolen.
Damn it! I never imagined that in this multiverse there would be a subject with such power. Ha 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 ha! What will you do now? You're no longer an opponent for me.
Raito began to beat up Dark Gogeta, who would no longer be able to defend himself. Dark Gogeta would telepathically communicate with Dark Zeno.
"Great Dark Zeno-sama, I'm very injured and on the verge of death. A guy named Raito left me in this state. I don't understand how he has so much power. Please help me." "How is it possible that one of my best warriors is in such conditions?" "Dark Vegito, go immediately to the Twin Megaverse and help Dark Gogeta."
Dark Vegeta would obey Dark Zeno-sama's orders. Going quickly, just when he reached the Twin Megaverse, he felt Dark Gogeta's ki almost nil. He transported, watching him very wounded and on the verge of death, realizing that a very powerful energy sphere was approaching to exterminate him. However, Vegito, being much more powerful, would face the great attack that, upon making contact with his aura, would be destroyed, leaving no trace of such an immense attack.
"Now it's your turn to face me, damn worm. I won't leave any dust of you. I'll exterminate you with my own hands."
What will happen next? Find out in the next chapter. Well guys, this is all for today's chapter. I hope you liked it and it was to your liking. Now don't forget to leave your powerful like Supreme God level, comment and subscribe. Now without further ado, see you in a new video. Until next time.